Well, here's a chance for Illinois to start doing something great, as Coach Hefner just said. I mean, this one, we were doing the math, Jim, during intermission. It's not out of the realm that the Illini could not make this thing very interesting as we look at 165 pounds, two ranked wrestlers. Congrad Polz, the senior for the Illini. Nick Moore, the sophomore for the Hawkeyes.
Well, Nick Moore has been improving all season, but you're going up against a returning NCAA All-American in Congrad Polz, and of course this is senior night. And if the Illini are going to, like we talked about in the break, they could make this a really tough meet, and would start right here with Congrad Polz getting a big win. See, he's a very athletic, well-built individual. Nice duck under right there. He's got weight on the hands. That's two. And so many times, Joe, you come back after the intermission, and it's kind of tough to get the crowd into it. Here's a nice little duck on the right-hand side. Watch the duck right there. Gets off his shoelaces there, gets his shoelaces up, and able to drive back into his opponent, get the two.
Hands forward. Hands forward. There you go. Good. Set. Top man. Head in the center.
Congrad Polz, Carl Sandburg High School graduate. Dad was his head coach in high school. Special night tonight for the Polz family. Of course, one of the seniors being honored here. And showed you that duck under. Beautiful start to this one for the senior, the 7th ranked wrestler, or the 8th ranked wrestler in the country at 165 pounds.
Yeah, nice job by Moore getting up to his feet and doing some hand fighting there. And that's going to, just that activity was enough to let Polz kind of give the intentional release. But he got 25 seconds of riding time and a takedown. And again, he's one of those guys that probably needs to stay on his offense for Illinois. I think Jim Heffernan would like to see him continue to kind of do what Delgado does. He drops into a nice little shot right there. So, so many times in these, I was mentioning, so many times in these meets, you come back for the second half and everybody's kind of exhaled here. They got settled back into their seats, and the action really needs to drive. You want to go ahead and take out the Hawks, you got to be able to go ahead and get your crowd into it. Got to win some tight matches here. It's not out of the realm of possibility for Illinois to do that. But you need your senior to step up right now and get a big win.
See the internet rankings again at the bottom of your screen as 165 pounds, certainly the talk of the season with Taylor and Dake. And I think one or both of these guys would like to put themselves in the discussion for top 8, which of course makes you an All-American come March. Polz, the 2-point takedown off that nice duck under. 1-point escape by Moore is where we sit, final minute of this first period.
The Illinois coaching staff, you really got to like the low position that Polz is in right now. See how he's wrestling about a half head lower. He's got a head to the outside shot. Moore's got pretty good defense here, able to lock in the crotch right there to go ahead and keep Polz from cutting the corner. I'd expect this to really kind of end up in a stalemate.
Get the stalemate call there, 29 seconds. Polz, of course, he got one of those manly All-Americans a year ago. When you lose round 1, Jim, and you reel it off 4 in a row.
And that's kind of what he needed. He had to, came into the program highly touted, and see yourself lose the first round, and you say, oh, my whole career is passing before my very eyes here. And he fought his way back, and it's changed everything for him, the way he's kind of approached the sport.
Final seconds of this first period. Nick Moore, of course, that family name, no stranger to Iowa. Brother Nate on the team, of course, cousin Cliff, NCAA champion back in 2004. Cliff now an assistant coach at Edinburgh. There you see Mike and Sue. Mike there, the head coach at Carl Sandburg High School, and Conrad was with him. Always special father-son coaching bond.
Polz is going to take the top position. Just kind of staying with it. What you're looking for right now is I like to see a guy ride the hips with the forearms. You see how those arms got a little bit high above the waist right there. You got to ride the hips a little bit with your arms, but Polz comfortable giving that escape. And I think that the battle right now here for Polz is, can he stay low all the way through the match? There's a nice little risk-taking maneuver there by Polz, and you see how quick Moore is that you take a bad shot on him, he's going to be halfway around the corner on you.
Nick Moore, one of the big reasons Iowa was able to hang on in that win up in Minneapolis when he upset 10th-ranked Cody Yan. Had a pleasure to watch you on the call. That one, 8-2. That was an impressive win over Yan up in Minneapolis.
And I think that was a kind of a benchmark win for Moore. And this would be another one if he could come back from a 2-point deficit and come back and win this match. But You know, Polz looks very comfortable right now. There's a low shot. Kind of the first real decent shot there by Moore. But you can see how Polz is slowed down. He's less on the offense. Now he's come back into his shot. That straight on double. Again, he stayed shoelaces flat and came up instead of through your opponent.
No riding time on the table right now, so this is a true 2-2 match. 40 seconds remaining in the second period. One you absolutely have to have for the Illini if you have any shot of making this thing interesting. But as Coach Jim Heffernan told our Shane Sparks, they're coming out of the intermission break. They got all their horses, the upperclassmen still to come, and you were doing the math. I mean, if Illinois gets a couple of wins here to start, this one could certainly get interesting down the stretch.
Well, they need 4 wins for sure, and they're probably favored in 2 of those matches, and one of them is probably a toss-up. So. You see Moore's kind of picking up his intensity. Even though the shots aren't there, they're wrestling at the same level. Now, Polz gets down into a little bit lower stance.
That'll end the second period. Polz with a choice in the third period will head down and try and pick up the escape shot of Huff Hall. Great crowd here tonight in mid-February. Of course, high school wrestling huge in Illinois, and their tournament series gets underway here. So a lot of high school wrestlers. Maybe you get that last-minute inspiration. You go watch Illinois, Iowa, then you go out and win your district or your region the next day, right?
Well, I promise you, about every college or high school coach in the state of Iowa is watching the Big Ten Network, and all over the country, really, for that matter. They got their regionals and sectionals and districts, and some of them even wrestling their state meets. And a nice little counter shot there by Polz. He's got an opportunity to step up. Moore doing a nice job, but he's able to cut across and get to the 2 legs there, and he's able to get the 2-point takedown. Nice technique there.
And that was beautifully done by Polz. Almost the escape and the takedown simultaneously, like a 2-for-1 there, and that'll make it a 5-2 lead now for Congrad Polz. Moore with the escape. Well, 5-3 Congrad Polz lead here in this third period.
And 15 seconds, there's the takedown right here. You see how he's able to go ahead, counter shot right there, but he steps up, all right, and pops his hips in a little bit, and he gets a little bit, and he switches across the double right away that doesn't allow Moore to go ahead and cut the corner on him.
Textbook, nothing pretty, but that's just good old-fashioned wrestling 101 there by Congrad Polz, and gets the job done.
Yeah, I think the reason why he's been able to do that, he's wrestling a full head lower than Moore right now. Moore is just standing in and stalking. Those type of gliding in type of shots that he's doing with his head higher than the Illinois opponent are not going to work, or they shouldn't work anyway. And I think right now you can get a little bit too...
Hand fight! Hand fight!
See his dad talking about hand fighting, and he's exactly right. And look for your scoring opportunities. These are straight-on shots that are easy to measure, you know. It's like a guy who throws a fastball down the middle all the time and keeps on throwing that. You're going to hit it out of the park right now if you really have your intent on swinging.
And no angles really being generated here. It's easy to stop as we're going to get a stalling warning on Polz. First of the match for either wrestler. That one comes with 15 seconds left. No riding time, so this is a 5-3 Polz victory if it ends the way it is right now.
And look at that head position. He's much lower than the Iowa opponent, and those shots just don't work.
And now Illinois is in a desperation headlock. Doesn't go. Congrad Polz tack on a takedown at the buzzer. Dad likes it. Mom likes it. The Illinois fans love it as the Illini back in this one now. Congrad Polz, the senior All-American. That's what you got to do if you're a senior All-American. Your team needs points. He got him there, Jim. 13-9 now. You see the team